Question 7. Now this looks like a lot of writing, but all these questions are only worth 2 marks, and it is to do with the basic transformations of rotation and reflection. Now let's see. 7.1. Determine the image of P, which is x and y to start with, if P is rotated through 90 degrees about the origin in a clockwise direction and then reflected about the y-axis. Now for this question you could just have memorized your rules for reflecting and rotating about the origin, and rotating about 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270, and so forth. Or you could draw a little picture like I usually do, because I never memorized the rules. I usually took a point 2 and 1 and then worked with that to see what the basic rules are for these things. So if we rotate it through 90 degrees about the origin clockwise, that means our point 2, 1 would then become, if we rotate it to here, that would be negative 2 and 1. So we can see x and y became 1, negative 2. So x and y became y and negative x. So that's the rule you'll have to follow. We'll start off with x and y. After the first transformation becomes y and negative x, y and negative x, and then the second one is reflected about the y-axis. So reflected about the y-axis, if the y-axis acts as a mirror, you'd have your next point over here, which is at negative 1, negative 2. So that would become then negative y and negative x. There we go. Oh, that's our answer for that. Okay, 7.2. P prime, if P, which starts with x and y, is reflected across the y-axis and then rotated 90 degrees about the origin clockwise. So again we can see it's the same operators but applied in a different order. So now we'll have, starting at 2 and 1 for instance, which is x and y, if we first reflect across the y-axis, we'll have here negative 2 and 1, and if we then rotate 90 degrees clockwise, we'll have 1 and 2. Okay, so this one, we'll start off again with x and y. After the first transformation, we have negative x and y. So that'll be negative x and y. And then if we apply the second transformation to this one, we'll have, so from here to here, we see xy becomes y negative x. Okay, so it will become y and negative negative x, which gives us x. Okay, straightforward. Mo and Zia argue about the image of P. Mo says the order of operation is important, and Zia claims that P prime, or the image of P, will not be affected by the order. Who is right? Well, obviously because we just worked out the answer, we can see that Mo will be right. Mo is right. And the reason for that would be, if the image is not affected by the order, then these two answers would have been the same. So you could say 7.1 would be equal to 7.2. That would be a reason, or would be equal, but they are not. So there you go. The order is important in transformations.